Well, I started the recording just because we were supposed to start, but the thing is, we don't have food. I don't know when breakfast ends, but my feeling is we could do the meeting and then go. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, that's work probably ends about 9. You sing better than I do, so. 8:30.
You want to start?
Am I starting?
You know, why don't you give us a moment to neighbor their question?
All right, give me a moment.
Okay.
So yes, why don't we just all, hello, everybody. I feel like, you're in some land out there. But let's take a moment to just breathe and come together in love and joy and celebration of our new RP. Thank you, everyone. Oh, and the big one that came to me, nobody knows, so I kind of love this one. All right, Matia, you know this. Yay, joy. The joy is felt that joy of you. The joy of you.
Let's welcome everybody. Welcome. We finally made it. Yeah.
Karen, try to stay over here because the Zoom people.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Thank you, Bob. Like a true RP. Oh.
And I just want to say, welcome to Cheryl. She can stay with us. And welcome back to the United States. Jeremy had a wonderful trip and mazel tov on your wedding.
Wow.
So all good things, and we've got to do RP. Yay!
Yeah.
Thanks you guys for all your support over the years.
Can you hear us on Zoom? You can't hear us?
I can hear you, but it's like when more than one of you are talking, especially, it's all muted. We can't really understand what you're saying.
Okay, one at a time.
You know, I think we should just speak one at a time. It'll be fine. Hi, Shuli.
Oh, that works.
That works. That's good. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all.
Well, who else is there?
Who else is there? Yeah.
Matia and Ellen.
Ellen, hi, my buddy.
Hi, Ellen.
Ellen.
Hi, everyone.
Perfect. Okay, everybody, you have this, the profit and loss. You don't have the balance sheet, but I'll just tell you we have $11,220 $25 a day. I wasn't able to get the end of the year numbers, because we're too busy. But this is what we ended up giving some tzedakah this year, which was great, but it gave us a negative income, but we have plenty of money, so I don't think that's an issue. And for next year, this is basically the budget that we have put in for dues, student numbers, hopefully we have some student numbers. And then, fees to RPA, oh yeah, that's fees to OHALAH. And then, so our income is pretty good every year, and then we did some charity, I put $1,000 in for charity. And there's something for the website and some other things we may or may not use. I think we'll make $114. Which is good.
That's
in my
great.
book. So, do I have a motion to accept this budget as presented?
So,
Great, all those in favor?
uh,
All those opposed? The budget passes, and I sent it out on the Zoom, on the newsletter, so we should be all good to go.
characters, state of offices. So, did you?
I didn't, yeah, that was on the Zoom, like, that. I can put it out. Okay, the slate of officers as proposed.
I'm Jen.
I just want to make sure you guys can hear what's going on.
Yes,
Sort of, a little bit, but not really.
So we're voting on a slate of officers: Kyle Lerner, president; Shane Khan, vice president; Lisa Levine, treasurer; and I'm gonna do membership: Simcha Raphael, at large; Stacy Grove, at large; and Sandra Wurzel is our past president. She's staying on the board as well, but she's gonna be with us. And we're seeking some new board members because we are short a board member because one of our board members was Katya, or we want to thank Katya for her service, and she's been great. So anyone volunteering to step up to that, we're a fun group and we have a good time, and we're very important, and if we don't bring new people on, it's going to be serious for our organization. So anyway, that's the proposal.
Move to accept the slate of officers.
All those.
All those in favor? Step up. Okay. Anybody else want to step up?
Yay,
Let me know.
congratulations.
Karen wants to join us.
Yeah, Karen, we just voted on slate of
As
officers.
opposed to-
And your phone rang.
So, the scheme of things, this is a minimal compared to work. Actually, an antidote. All right,
That's scary.
that word the antidote.
Yes. No, it's that gore part. Or, does anyone have a Tully with them?
I have mine, yes.
Great, let's get it out.
It's special.
We were gonna invite you into the center of our debate. And.
Oh, well, that's better.
This is great. Well, we have this one.
I like that one.
Yeah, I know some of you are eating, but if we could get up and join in the center of the room, that would be great. And then all of us will take edges of this talit. Duet Hashem b'simcha, duet Hashem
Hashem
b'simcha.
just
Oh, the fana,
not fear none.
duet Hashem b'simcha, duet Hashem b'simcha. Oh, the fana, fana, yada Duet Hashem b'simcha, duet Hashem b'simcha, oh, the fana birnana. Duet Hashem b'simcha, duet Hashem b'simcha, oh, the fana birnana. As you stand under this talit of blessing, a multicolored talit of the rainbow, each of us will extend a blessing. I'm going to start and then go around. My blessing for you, my darling, is that you use the gifts that you have based on your heart. So do what you do. You do your
I'm gonna do mine at the end, it's a song.
perfect. Perfect.
May you luxuriate in the fact that you finally got them. Know that you just started.
And Lee, may you be lifted up and supported and surrounded by your colleagues, your friends, and the wonders of this universe, despite everything. May you be blessed and held always.
We'll get to this. Yes, Shulamit,
You want me to go next?
I was gonna finish. I didn't say you had. Can I finish, Shulamit?
Absolutely. Go for it.
May you be blessed to bring all your special gifts to this world because you will carry
No, I go by twin.
You go right here. That's such a wonderful connection. Amen. Now, Shulamit.
Ah, wonderful Lee. May you be blessed to know that you are always loved and supported, not just by the people in this room, but by your entire community. And may you be strong to go out into the world and share your multiple gifts, including that beautiful smile with everybody that you meet. And may all of this happen with ease and with grace. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Shulamit. I'm receiving you.
I'm so glad. Right.
Oh, you share a name too. What's coming to me is this great loving presence. So Oh, as you go on this road, it is never ending. Never ending. As you grow, and as the path unfolds before you, and as you continue to give the lessons of your words, your being evolve, may those who return to you 1,000 years.
I am a child yearning for love. I am the mother so full of dreams for you. I am the angel lighting your way. I am the voice within you say. Walk in the light of love, dance through the darkest times, reach out to those who need bless who you are. Walk in the light of love, dance through the darkest times, reach out to those in need, bless who you are. I am a child yearning for love. I am your mother, so full of dreams for you. I am the angel guiding your way. I am the voice within. Walk in the light of love, dance through the darkest times, reach out to those who need. That's who you are. Walk in the light of love, dance through the darkest times, reach out to those in need.
That was amazing. And we have something to send you on your journey from your friends here. I think it matches your belief. So I really wanted to give it to you while we were standing under here. It's from us. Thank you.
So before we go, we're having Lisa now coming to the building.
See?
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, if you want to, that would be fine.
So we want to honor and bless you for the incredible work you've done. How many years? Forever?
Many. A lot. Many.
Yes.
A generation.
No, 10. Yeah,
10.
2013. 11 years I think I've been on this board. I was a student.
Wow. Yes. Wow.
I know you're a student.
We are so blessed that you have driven our here. Because that's such vision. It's been incredible. So I want us all to surround you with staff who are full of your voice, and you offer such blessing, but we're going to bless you with all of our blessings and staff.
Before you do that, can I just shout out to the people who are in that room, because if it wasn't for Matya and Shulamit and Ellen, who brought me into the RP program and the RPA, I wouldn't even be here. It was a pivotal moment in my life in 2011 that I met you, and that's why I stepped in. So you all are with us. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. We are so grateful. We have a gift for you.
So you were the tallest one in the room. You know, when the Red Sea parted, Moses had to ask for help for his hands to be held up. So that's what we are to each other. And I think that's a beautiful.
Could I add something, please?
Oh, yes, please. you love
Actually,
it.
I have two things to add. First of all, Lisa, your work for the last few years has just been extraordinary. I don't know where you get your bunny energy from, but you're always going. And for one, I'm just grateful to see the organization doing so well. And a lot of that has to do with you. And the second thing I want to say is that we know that Lee just got ordained. However, I know that she's been working as a chaplain in her X-ray department for years, meeting everybody who comes in there with calmness and joy and understanding and deep compassion. So I want to thank her for all those years of work as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Well, I got to say something. Okay, my buddy, my spirit buddy, travel buddy, so from the RPA, we have a gift here. And most of us signed this book. Thank you, Chandel, for the it's great inspiration.
Thank you so much. You know, I write a lot, so the rest of these pages I will use for my writing. So, and let's keep going.
Yes, let's keep going. There's the one story.
We have somebody else on too.
Who's going?
And Leon was supposed to be there this morning. I don't know.
Slept in.
If everything is okay. He slept in.
Jace, could you make it? You gotta make it.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Stacy.
Ever. Thank you so much. This is amazing. I
Jackie,
told
on
Jackie I
the tree of
wanted one of
life.
these for many, many, many years.
That's why she said that. That's
Happy New Year to you all.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you too, dear. It's lovely to see your face.
Likewise.
A hug would be good.
Welcome.
There you go.
Hi,
It would
Stacy.
be. Hi.
End of our meeting, I'm gonna pass the baton over to my dear colleague over there.
all right. So I'm thinking about why the RPA should exist. And it was great that, and what Sandra did to bring it to where it needed to be. And then we had COVID. COVID allowed for us to have technology to be there for, to bring all this together through technology. And then took a look at our budget and said, we have money. We also have some incredibly talented people. And so like we started last July is training, marketing training, working in conjunction with the RPA and with OHALAH to bring once a month an interesting topic for consideration. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't seen the trainings, to go online, where it's on YouTube, it's uploaded on the OHALAH listserv. Last month, Rabbi Ann Brenner did one on mourning, which was incredible. And I would encourage anyone to watch it. Much better than I was.
No.
Of course, Ellen contributed, and Ellen was awesome too. And we thank Ellen too. But I just want to let everyone know that we've got some interesting topics. Jeremy has graciously offered to help us. and we're just doing the topic on people, which, as we know, the world is spiraling into evil, and especially around it. So that's, we appreciate that, Jeremy. So we've got some interesting people joining us. Pat Sevis and Esther Azar, hopefully. There's some restorative justice in February. Jay Weinstein is going to be working and merging. At some point, Heather Paul will be doing one on ritual and pastoral care. We've got Sandra agreeing to do something on arts and pastoral. Laura doing Kaplan will be doing on animals. And Marshall is doing something on caregiving. So we've got an exciting lineup of people coming to train. I'd like to see more RPs do it, but I'm open to the suggestions you have in whatever you need. Want to do some training? Come talk to me. I'll be more than happy to put you on the schedule. Yes.
One of my questions for the group, and then think about just for homeless, is there anybody in this group who's an active caregiver for somebody else right now? Right. Because I'm a caregiver for my mom who's 103. One of the things that I'm aware of is because she lives 220 miles from where I live. So I spend more time with her than I do with my dogs and my husband. It's isolating and it's hard on relationships. The question is how do you figure out how to address that and how to support people with that? And so it's something to think about, not only for us, because there are other people in our organization who are also caregivers. Yeah. And the question is, do we as RPs, or mostly RP, we know who they are in our organization. Reach out to them and support them as well.
Hey, Lisa, excuse me, is it possible to move the iPad closer to you guys? Because we can't I can't really understand what it is you're saying. I can hear your voices, but
No, it's okay. We can move the iPad up. I can't even hold it.
Yeah, I can hold it.
It's
All right.
garbled.
it's horrible.
Can we put it on a chair? Yeah, why don't we put it on?
Well, it won't work on a chair, but it might work
Right,
here.
those are ideas that I need to know so that I can plan to
And-
invite people, but as I said, Rabbi Jenny Marshall.
The wonders of technology.
Oh, great.
Wonders of technology, yes. So we're talking about trainings.
Okay,
And
this is much
we're open-
better.
Hold
Yeah,
this
can
for
you
a
hear me,
second, Shelley.
Shulamit?
Yes, we can hear you now. And so can Stacy and Ellen. Yes.
And
Much-
Matcha.
Thank you.
So we're talking about the RPA trainings and in conjunction with OHALAH. And so we've got some exciting people lined up, and I'm opening it up. And thank you, Ellen, for being one of those people to step up. It was very informative, and I would encourage everyone to listen to Ellen's talk, and Brenner's was wonderful.
And they're all on our YouTube channel, which I will send out. They're actually on my channel under the RPA, but I will. We have our own channel, and I've been remiss in putting it up there. But once we start getting all of these classes and trainings, they'll all be in one place.
Okay.
And also, we should expand and invite the Olive community and other communities. I know my community in Rockville would love these trainings.
Yes,
I mean,
I've talked with David Carell about putting it on the Hashpa'ah list. So any ideas, you, Cheryl and Carl, you're working with the students, if you come up with some ideas of what Olive is not providing, but we could do it in a 2-hour training, that I could use some ideas. And if anyone wants, I know that one of the we're getting students is into nonviolent communication. Wait a second, nonviolent communication, and I'm going to be contact with her. So there's some ideas that I have. I want to have something on trans issues and gender identity. So yes, she'll and me.
So if you're interested, I would do a training on how to help people tell their stories and how those stories work into chaplaincy and pastoral counseling.
Pick up mine.
I know
Day, pick a time.
Well, all of those things, I'm leaving all of those extra details. We're just providing the platform, and we do have money, so you will get paid.
In that case, I have
Oh, and
Wait,
Carl
I have an
agreed to
idea
do, Carl agreed to do something on negotiation, which I think is amazing that we need, as Jewish clergy, I've discovered we need to learn about negotiation.
Yeah.
So as much as he's being funny, he's on the list too. So give me ideas, give me times, give me days. We try to do this on Sundays because it allows for people to, but I realize that you have obligations on Sunday. That's why it's recorded, so you can listen to the recording. But it's all, everything else is up to you. We provide the platform. So pick a day to meet that's convenient for you. Anybody
Okay.
else? I know, Stacy, you might have had an idea, not to call you out, but you might have had an idea.
Yeah, but in this moment, I'm not going to speak about it because I'd rather hear more of the meeting because
Oh,
I'm going to have to leave. I have a doctor's appointment in about, so I'm going to have to leave in about 15 minutes to get to it.
Can I put something out
yeah, sure.
as a new rabbi?
And also,
An old soul, yes. So I feel that it's fabulous that we're offering education, okay? But one of the things is, how do you bring in a revenue stream? And this is a perfect opportunity to bring in a revenue stream. If we could talk to the AOP DOS for the RPs and for the AOP, is if there's a bundle of offerings of teachings, is it possible that it could go towards some educational credits? That way it would draw a little bit more people in from all different parts of the AOP, and it would bring in part of a revenue stream. Because the thing is to have funding, it's one thing to have funding and to have dollars in the bank. It's another thing to have dollars going out to pay for people. So as the capitalist that I am, and I will own that because the organization needs to have some revenue so it can continue to function. That would be something that, I mean, I don't know how to do it, but we have 2 directors of studies sitting at the table here who might be able to bring it to the board of the AOP, because there's a lot of coursework that you can't get in the AOP. So it has to be from outside. So why not bring it to our organization here? We should do that.
that's great.
Is that possible? I hope you guys were able to hear what I said. So thank you.
Lee, can you just say a few words about how you think that might work? What would that look like?
What that would look like is, if we look at what the lectures are being offered, and we do a bundle, say, of 5 or 6, because you might have 12, because there's 12 months in the year, you do once, So now you can look at how can they interrelate, okay, these talks. And if, we have checkoffs as a student that need to be experience done, that we have to make sure that we get some information somehow as a student. So then you have those 6, bring this to the board, the AOP, who then gives the AOK that we would go ahead and get credit, that this one meets the need of this group, or this group, or it might meet the need of one class. So, and the cost would be much less than what it would cost for a class via the AOP. However, because you've now bundled the education, okay? And because if they're 1 hour, 2 hour courses,
how many hours are needed for each course. So does that make sense? And I think we get more willingness from the AOP to join in and to participate, because now we have a free platform there to where we can advertise, and we're not paying for it. So we can also do the outreach through the AOP, and we can do outreach through other outside organizations. So that can be offered to other chaplaincy organizations. So now you have two different ways of streaming it, and you can offer it, say, I don't know how much is the regular course now? It's almost $1,200 for one course. Okay, so you offer it for 1/3 that cost. Make sure the expenses are covered for whoever's doing the lecture, and make sure 1/3 of that cost would go towards the lecture, 2/3 go to the organization.
I don't think we need to do that. I think that the cost of the lecture is.
Can we,
from the
sorry,
RPA.
No, that- no.
maybe we could form a little committee.
I'm
Would
happy
you
to
be willing
participate.
to help? And then
That
we
one
have
I
to
would
work
do.
together to try to make this stream a reality.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you so much. This
Okay.
is an
This is
amazing
what-
idea.
This is what I was talking about. So what is needed? We can post sleep on what is needed, what is, so we see the fights on the OHALA list, so we do something about that, nonviolent communication, restorative justice. So, if you have ideas, and I hope that later on I can announce this whole OHALA list, or if you've got ideas, please bring them to me. If you're willing to do training, I'm open to putting them on the schedule. So my next thing is here's I'm doing this for 2 years. And because I've been on the board for 4 years. Somebody's got to step up, because if after 2 years there's nobody stepping up into this position, we're going to fold. The money that you see in this budget will go to OHALA. Not that that's a bad thing. The problem is when I come across and dealing with the OHALA board, the only thing that I see going, there's nothing that says that we can't join OHALA and meld. The problem is, will we be a presence in OHALA? And my answer to that, having talked with some of those people on the board, Cheryl excluded, that we would just be pushed aside. We wouldn't have any recognition. As it is, if I go to these meetings, I don't have a voice on that board. I don't have a vote. So where does that leave RPAs? So that's what I'm saying. Somebody needs to step up into this, onto the board, so that we can continue, or we can just say goodbye to everything that our predecessors have done to keep this board going. Maybe I should have a huge filter, but I'm not, because a beloved said to me, the only way an inappropriate person got into leadership is because nobody stepped up. So that's what happens. Nature abhors a vacuum. And if you want somebody who is not going to be appropriate, lay back and don't do anything. Carl, I saw you.
And you know what I'm about to say. I think because of the strength of this organization and what people have done for it, it is time to revisit the idea of having RPs, or whatever we're called going forward, which is a hint of what else I want to say. Be part of OHALA and full members of OHALA, not someone on the board who can't have a vote, but actually be accepted as part of OHALA. If you go to the OHALA website, on the homepage, it starts off with Association of Rabbis and Cantors for Jewish Renewal. And then the first line says, we are a group of rabbis, cantors, and rabbinic pastors. And then it goes on to talk about it. And it was shocking to me that they start with a headline without RPs and then immediately go to we include RPs. I think we've gotten strong enough, and there's enough of us, and there's curriculum changes in the work, and perhaps name changes in the work, that it's time for us to be accepted as renewal clergy. And I know that up front, there was, and most of you have been here longer than me, there were issues about renewal rabbis trying to show their credibility. So they didn't want anybody else in that might dilute their credibility. If they're still worried about diluting their credibility, then we have a problem. So I do think it's time that we revisit the idea of having rabbinic pastors become full members of OHALAH and not having to have an association like a second-class association. And I think it's time we revisit it and go after it with some strength.
Well, we did revisit it 3 years ago.
Yes, that's
We
3
did a
years.
whole, yes, and you're right, things have changed, and I'm really happy they have. The only thing that really kept it, and I had a long conversation with Marcia about this,
Yes,
and I think a lot of you, because we voted on it, the thing that was her point was, well, if you become members of OHALAH, then you're gonna have to go through our acceptance process, which that's fine. Like, who's not gonna accept this woman and this person into OHALAH, into OHALAH? We're all a part of that anyway, so why not just make us one? And I'm happy to contribute the money we have in our bank account.
well, I was actually thinking if we merge into OHALAH, there's 9 of us here, we could divide that $11,000.
Or we can keep our own,
And each have and
we can keep our own line item as
Yeah.
part of.
Okay,
Exactly.
so I'm gonna give you some feedback that I spoke to someone about. Finance, big deal, okay? You create a revenue stream, I'll tell you what, they'll want you because their revenue stream is 0. Okay, it's based on just people who are membership.
yes,
If you base it on membership, your organization won't grow. Create a revenue stream, and if we start that,
yeah, and if,
it creates a trickle down effect.
Right.
So, sorry. you
No,
know,
no, that's
I'm
exactly
talking money,
right.
but really, that really
That
There's
is.
goes-
someone on Zoom that has their
that
hand
goes-
up.
Hello.
Wait a second, so being on the board, going to the board meetings, they're looking for people to volunteer to be a part of the membership board or the ethics board or, so, I mean, if we're willing to step up into those positions, I'm sure Ray and the rest of the board would be appreciative. Cheryl, do you have any?
Wait.
I have lots to say, but there's 2 hands.
Oh, okay, so, all right, so we'll let Cheryl do that.
Okay, thanks. This is Ellen Weaver. I actually started the RPA back when we weren't acceptable. Now we are acceptable, but I just don't think it's most useful. There's things to be said for that, but there's a lot of things in terms of, like, we have our own ethics committee, we have our own different things. I don't know about revenue stream or whether that will come to be or not, but I really think it is most useful because we're not in the same, we're not doing the same work, most of us, as the rabbis. I can't imagine any of us being in an ethical violation, but if we were, I would want my RPs, not the rabbis, to be handling it. And there's a lot of other things. I won't take up more time at this meeting, but I think it's really important to stay us. That's what I want to say.
And there was another hand up? Lee, you had your hand up?
I was just gonna, say something that in regard to, just like government, you have 3 different branches. There should be an ethics board for each branch of our rabbinic associations. One for the cantorial, one for the rabbinic, and one for the RPs. And to me, that makes sense, Ellen. So I think you can end up having a merge of the communities, but it's really important because we know what to address in our own field. It's a field of study. So why not bring that forward, going to the OHALA meetings. Does that make sense to you all?
So can I address the ethics?
Yeah.
I think, don't let the ethics question.
No.
I wanna be clear about this. Don't let that be the ruling factor here. Y'all know we're in the process of rewriting the ethics and working on that. If that's something that speaks to you, then you should get involved in that process and let your voice be heard at the places at which it's being written. I see advantages to being your own separate, like our own separate kind of cohort, dealing with RP, things that are unique to RP, as well as being a part of the whole. And I think there are ways to do that. I don't know what they are. I think the RP identity, call it that, it's unique and it's important and it matters. Figuring out how to grow that community so that it becomes an integral part, so you don't have these kinds of questions of what does the RP do and why are they there and should they or should they not? That's a question of, that's a really important question. That's something I think perhaps that question of how does that plan become, how do we grow that plan? I think if you do that, then the answer of where you belong within the organization will answer itself. This is my sense of it. And I want, and I think that what the RPs do is incredibly important and incredibly undervalued. So it's just worth thinking about.
So I have something even more important to say. There's only 20 minutes left. I'm serving breakfast.
Right.
Okay, so as Lisa just went out,
And I'm 3 hours out, so I've got it.
if like one at a time or two at a time, people got up and went and got their breakfast and come back if you want, because otherwise we're gonna miss it.
Let's let Cheryl have the last word.
Can I say something?
Okay, next for breakfast.
I understand that, but something to think about is something on the points already been said. I think it's really careful. You need to be careful not to try to divide. As opposed to you've got people who are ordained to two different. It's like I'm janitorial and RP. Right. People who are RP and RP. I mean, so you don't want to have that kind of division in terms of that. So,
Cheryl, you have the last word.
Oh, okay. So I've been wearing many hats here. I was formerly vice president of the Pastor Association, and now I have a role in the AOP. And I'm so blessed to be sharing this role as co-director of the new pastor program with Carl.
Of the RP program.
The RP program.
Of the AOP.
As the AOP, plus I've just been appointed to the board, and I'm so new at all of this. And so I'm taking lots of notes everywhere I go. And I'm listening really hard, as hard as I could. I also have some thoughts about some of the things I've heard. I've heard your concern, Maya, about maybe, you know, if the pastors join OHALA as clergy members, just like the rabbis and the pastors are, that there may be a dilution, right? I see it a little bit differently. I see this as lifting up our role so that, because now we're a little bit on the side. They don't know what we do. They don't see what we do. They don't see all the ways that we serve, right? So I would be willing to be part of a group that makes a proposal to OHALA, and I also sit on the board of OHALA. So I'm very willing. I agree totally with Carl. I think Carl wants to say a few words about the exciting things that we've been working on in the
Right, before you do that, I think what happens is that what I'm hoping is that these trainings and what I've seen and talking to people over this weekend is that the RP has become visible. And that's really important to this process, that people know who we are, and what we do, and what we could be offering and providing to the community. All right, Carl, you got the last one.
Yeah, so
Please don't be a lawyer.
I just want to let you know that Cheryl and I have put together and presented curriculums to Natan and Chuck that we hope to get some responses to. It's just our first draft for actually for two programs. That's why I say curricula. Two programs. One, a pastoral rabbi program that would end with a rabbinic ordination, and the other, a slightly more tailored version of what we are now, but we think it should be called rabbinic chaplain rather than rabbinic pastor. Too many of our students and too many of us have confronted that. I can't tell you how many times in the last 2 years I've been asked whether I'm a clergy for Jews for Jesus because I'm a rabbinic pastor. And so that name just becomes a problem. And chaplaincy, I think, gives it, being called rabbinic chaplain, doesn't necessarily mean that all you're going to do is be a chaplain in a hospital, but you'll do work that's related to chaplaincy. So those are the two curriculums that we've submitted. We're going to be working on them, then we'll bring them back to everybody, and then we'll figure out what's going on. But it's exciting that they took it. And you should know some of the courses that we put into the two curriculum, the town looked at and said, oh, we should probably be giving these to all of our rabbis. So it's really exciting to see that we say this is what's needed. And they finally realize, oh, rabbis should have more training in pastoral work. Whether they're called pastoral rabbis or not, they're not sufficiently trained to deal with what we deal with. So those are the things that are going on, and we're really excited about it.
Thank you so much.
And it was an absolute blessing to have Cheryl, who's really organized and knows how to put together spreadsheets and do all the things that I'm completely incompetent in. So it's been and of course she has a background in curriculum development and stuff like that. So it's been just great work together, even though she's really short. It is a balance. Yes, we average out at normal.
I enjoyed you in that.
All right, so we're done. I want to bless everybody.
Thank you,
to go out and
everyone.
Go forth and do your wonderful work with that everybody, all your communities need.
You do it other night. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Oh, I move we.
Guys, hello, excuse me, can I just say something before you all leave?
Yes.
Yes, Shalini.
Somehow I thought I saw on the agenda that there was a check-in, but there wasn't. But I just,
Sorry, check in, Shalini. How are you doing?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you just said. I just want to tell you all that I'm scheduled for surgery on January 24th. And I would really appreciate it if you would keep me in your prayers. I am anxious about it and prayers really help. So thank you.
Stay reckless permanently.
Great. We will do that.
Refuah Shlema.
Yes.
Quick, speedy recovery.
Thank
Did
you.
y'all vote on the board?
Yes.
We
Yes.
did.
Okay.
Would you like to sit on the board?
I'm on the board.
We're already on the board. All right.
You want to be the chair? The
No.
co-chair?
No,
Thank you all. Have a great
Thank
rest of
you.
the
Bye.
conference. Be well.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
I don't know where I put it.
I remember meeting you. That wasn't actually, that wasn't the actual time that I met you. I met you a lot, but I remember the lobster and that.
Yeah, I lobster.
I'll always remember you as the lobster.
I wish I lobster hat was.
Lobster hat.
When am I doing this thing?
Yes, sometime in January this month.
Oh, okay, good. I'll look at my calendar right this instant.
You tell me when and where, well, where is my.
Yeah.
But when and where.
Okay. I'm in California.
You can keep.
I was gonna tell you, probably no.
Are you staying today?
No, I'm gonna go take my sister.
Oh, that's right.
I saw that.
I'll check you. Yeah.
So
I'll go around.
You and
I
I.
have to check. with the administrator, because I'm learning how to do,
Yeah.
So,
So, and I was very serious about the refuge. It's great to have you. And here's something, here's something else.
Well, I don't believe in people who are evil. I believe in
We're not
people's choices.
As the CEO.
stories about
So she's a good resource. Okay. And
mother.
she said. Huge. Bye, everybody. Love you guys. Thanks for being here.